Okay, so I've got my basic render there. It's still a very basic render. It's nothing I'd be proud of, but all I'm going to do now is get a floor texture that I can then use to demonstrate the clone stamp tool, which is a brilliant tool in Photoshop. So if you don't know it, it's a really good one to get used to. So I'm making a new material for my for my floorboards. And then I'll replace with a flooring wood material and one that's got a nice clear texture, hopefully like this one will do. Okay, so I've got these floorboards which should show clearly. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger though, and let's see how that looks. So there we are. Okay, so I've got my my new material, and then I'm just going to render again, and yeah, I'll just keep it with artificial only for now, since that's what I've been using. Great. Sure. Okay, so I'm sorry you've got to watch this, but I don't want to pause the recording just for this. So it should go through pretty quickly. It's just going slowly at the beginning, but it should speed up anytime now. There we go. Going a bit faster. Clone stamp. Oh yeah, it is. Yep, it is a brilliant tool, and you can use it for all sorts of things. It is amazing. So, what I used it for when I was talking to you back in high school, literally too long ago to remember, but over 20 years ago, we'd get posters of people, and we could make the bodies of these people look completely different, but they still look like a photo. So it could extend out parts of the body and do all sorts of things. And if you've ever seen magazine images where they've made people look skinnier than they are in real life, and that's a well-known thing. Yeah, Photoshop, and the clone stamp tool is the one they use for that. Yeah. Because instead of just painting with a single colour, you're painting with the original image.
Yeah.
I think feeling a bit slow today.
Can you pick up when you do the clone stamp, like your knowledge?
Yeah, sometimes you can. You can tell it's more the way the brush tool paints the clone stamp. Yeah, you can.
So like you can tell on sort of
Sometimes, if it's done in a sloppy way, but not if it's done well. No, if it's done really well, it's virtually impossible. Yeah. It's going slowly today. 3 minutes, that's over the top. About nearly done. please finish. Okay, finally. All right, so I'm going to export that and give it a new name into Photoshop, and I'll open up my new image and you're kidding. Okay, Photoshop's just told me there's a problem, but it should be okay. There we are. So I'm just going to open again and find the file I've just saved. There it is. Okay, so just like before, Control A, Control C, and then into my new, or to my original file, Control V. And, well, it's actually put it in a different way, and I'll undo that, so Control Z. That's because I showed you how to change the image size before, so I'm going to do that here again. So under Image, I'll go to Image Size and then turn this resample off and set the resolution to 300, print resolution. And then I'll copy again, Control C, and then now again go to my original file and Control V to paste. And it's still coming in strangely, so let's just, maybe save the file. Let's just select all again. Photoshop even gets a bit confused sometimes. So we'll call this another name. Control A, Control C, oops, and then Control V, and I bet it's going to do it again. That is so weird. I'll guarantee you the image sizes are identical now. Oh, this one's been changed. So I'll make it 300. And then Control V. Right. Photoshop sometimes really can do some strange things. Maybe we've got to save it as a PSD file. I think so. This is something you shouldn't have to deal with, but again, it's how Photoshop is. Okay, it still wants to come in the wrong size, so I'm going to zoom out there and then use Control T and show you that you can manually scale it, and then it should line up exactly. But again, you shouldn't have to do that. It's normally not such a problem. Okay, so again, what I really want to show you was that clone stamp tool. So maybe here you can see I've got these the floorboards with this funny little texture there, or part of that texture coming through, and I don't want that. Now, what do you think would be the best way to fix that? Before I show you the quick and dirty way. So see how there's this little funny thing in that texture that doesn't, it looks bad because when it's repeated, it really becomes obvious that that's a repeated texture. It just takes people out of the image, makes it a bit jarring and not so realistic. So the best way to fix it would be to go to the original texture file and fix it there. Again, you can do that with Photoshop. So that would be the best way. But if you've already done the render, it's too late. You don't want to have to go back and re-render it again maybe. So I'll show you how you can use the clone stamp tool here. So over on the left is that button that looks like a stamper. It's a clone stamp. And then I'll reduce my brush size because it's a bit big. That's probably good. There we are. And then you need to use the target. So to get the target, you need to hold down the Alt key, and you can see that the icon changes to a target. So I'm going to click there. That's my target. And now I'll come down, and when I paint, notice how it shows the target. I'm moving the mouse so you can see it. Hopefully that little cross above. So it's cloning from that area and painting it down to where I choose. And if you've got a brush that isn't too hard, I can take the hardness up a little bit, but because it's got soft edges, it shouldn't make it stand out too much from where I'm painting. But notice how when I go too far, I'm starting to paint the edge of this floorboard. So it's cloning it down there. No, I don't want that. So I'll use Alt again and get a new target, and then I can just paint over that. And again, now I've got the edge of something else, so again I'll use Alt and get a new target, and there we are. So zooming out, no one will ever know. And so you can just keep going like that. I might even clone from a different board, so maybe I'll get, mix it up a bit. So maybe I can get this one next to it as my target, and then again paint, and again just go over all of this. So you find you often need to change your target, but otherwise it's a really good way of essentially changing reality, because you're painting from the photo. You're not just painting a single colour. So yeah, one of the best tools in Photoshop. And if you take your time with it and do it well, no one will ever know. Yeah. So maybe another good use of it would be to tidy up these tassels a bit more. So again, Alt, and then I can just paint over the edge. It's probably, I think that's being a bit obsessive personally, but I know some people go down to that level of detail. But if you're zooming in and you can see the pixels like this, and you're worrying about that level of detail, you're probably going a bit too far, because when you print it out, you're probably not going to ever know, or no one else will know all the hard work you've done. Sometimes you have to go in this far, but again, it's not always necessary. But you can see there, those tassels definitely look a bit cleaner. There we go. So that's it, and you can even use it to copy whole elements. So that's at the detail level, but maybe you just want to copy this whole unit, this ottoman. So I'll show you with a larger scale. If I make that brush bigger, maybe a harder brush edge. So I'll make that the target, and then paint down here, and I can paint in those things again. Again, you take time with it and probably do it to a different layer so you can scale them differently, but you can get some really good results that way as well. So that's it.